Agreed.
Welcome to the Mike Teixeira Memorial Fantasy Football Podcast. Pat McKenna, how are you this year?
Looking forward to a new season.
Are you excited? Because I'm so excited.
I see you got the double rings. Salud.
Thank you, sir.
Salud.
Thank you. Thank you for giving the respect I deserve.
Anybody that's got 2 rings, what are you going to do? You got 3 seasons, you got 2 rings.
I can clink them together like Dorothy's red slippers in Wizard of Oz. It's a beautiful friggin'
But you're
thing.
already home, Greg. You're already home.
Well, I'll tell you what, I feel right at home with the new season coming up. I just taste it. I'm just so excited
It's
about it.
just me, or there are more big names moving around this offseason. Going over and looking, it's like, wait a minute, this guy's this quarterback for this team now, and all these quarterbacks who were on playoff teams move.
Yeah,
That's different.
that's the
weird.
NFL. It's the NFL. They're constantly evolving, constantly changing rules. It's what we live for. It's fantasy football. But what have you missed the most about fantasy football in the off season?
The draft.
Just the draft. Just
The
the draft.
day of. In fact, I think we should take time right now to bitch about those who have decided not to come to our draft.
Oh, okay. I'm sure everybody knows who's watching this from our league. There is 2 team league owners who are not participating in what I like to call our Christmas. John Braca, Mike Teixeira. I'm sure it's not by choice. We're not here to bash you.
We've gathered on Christmas Eve to talk to you about
Yes. But, I think this is a serious fantasy football foul. Fantasy football, this is like a disgrace.
that. Let's break down 3 individuals. You've got one guy who's left the company, and you wonder if is that possibly involved. Maybe he's ashamed.
Yes, there could be some shame there.
You've got a new guy entering,
Yes.
and the way that he enters is to step us, blow us off.
Well,
And then you've got this management type in Braca.
he is
He
high.
rises to the level.
He rises.
And now it's so.
And now he drops in other
I'll be
aspects.
going to Boston or wherever he's
I think
going.
he's going to Maine. You
Maine.
lobster in Maine?
Yeah, he's going to lobster.
It's lobster in Maine.
I catch my own lobster.
Well, you smell real fishy to me, bro.
Oh God.
Look, all in all, I know everybody wants to be at the draft. It's the funnest part of the year. It's funner than the playoffs. It's
I
funner
feel
than
sad
anything.
for them. I really do.
I do, because I would hate to have to manage a team that could potentially be half auto draft, half pick. You got to gauge the draft when you're there.
When you're looking back at your moments in 2018, Greg, I know you had a child, so you'll remember that.
Yes.
What else can you be assured that you remember besides our draft?
Well,
What else are you absolutely going to remember from 2018?
I will remember the name that I took upon, and I think I got it from Dennis Ippolito, Slava Mykov.
Oh yeah, I couldn't see it.
He called
It was
me
cut off.
the trade whore.
Oh, that's right.
And I took it, I embraced it. I was like, you know what, you're right. I am a trade whore.
Oh yeah. You make for a good whore. You do.
Trading is a huge part of fantasy football, and if you don't do it, you're an idiot. A lot of people show up late to the party, I like to call, when it comes to trades. I think Devin Carneth had 0 trades last year.
What was his record?
He was almost in the running for the cheeseburger.
Seemed like it would be an incentive to want different players if you're bad.
Mm.
I don't know, just me.
Well, maybe in a few years, they'll realize that becoming fantasy relevant and getting into the playoffs, it's very rare.
We gotta take him to school.
I can only
That's
do
right.
so much. But it's very rare for you to go into the playoffs.
Bring a horse near water, but
Yeah,
what's the rest of it? So
You're not going to get there without trades.
that's right.
It won't happen. Not everybody's going to have a pinnacle year with the draft. You don't win your league at your draft. I like to
You
say
can
that.
lose it at the draft,
Absolutely. So that brings me to my next question.
like Morlock.
Yes. God rest his soul. But what are you most afraid of this year, fantasy-wise? What fears you when you're going through the process, either whether it's studying, drafting, what don't you want to happen?
You see, here's what gets me concerned. I started doing this when I was 12. I used to go to a draft with my dad.
Did you do look in the newspapers and see your score like 2 weeks later to see if
We
you
would
won?
do that, but we did all this prep, and we would show up, and I could tell there's a marked difference between our prep and other people's prep. Now there's like a fantasy show on every other day, every other hour.
Yes.
Like, you show up to the draft and you think you got this little, bit of information. Everybody knows everything.
Yes.
It's hard, man.
Yes.
It's gotten like Vegas with numbers. It's hard to fucking beat the book, man.
So what you're saying is that you have to overcome fears and you have to be bold. You have to take those long shots.
Being bold is the edge. That's the only
That's
play
it.
you have. You gotta roll dice, and you have to know when to roll dice.
And a perfect example.
My friend Kenny Rogers said, "No, I'm not gonna do that."
No. But a perfect example of you being bold is what you did last year, Pat.
Zeke.
I'll tell you, I was impressed at you drafting Ezekiel Elliott. I think you had the 7th, 8th pick last year? 9th. You drafted Ezekiel Elliott when in normal drafts, in expert drafts, he was going in the 2nd round because of the suspension. He still finished as a top 10 running back. Also, then, on the swing, with the uncertainty of Ezekiel
My
Elliott,
son
you think
Kareem.
your swing would have been somebody a little more solid,
Somebody
a little more prolific, a little more just
Yeah.
certain, and you drafted a rookie, Kareem Hunt,
Dude,
who
I will
only had the opportunity because of an injury.
I will never forget watching that Patriots game and being like, dude,
Yes.
this guy has like
When-
4 60-yard touchdowns.
Trust me, I was the first one to say, damn you, Pat McKenna, you got balls. And it's
Wow.
kind of changed my draft strategy, kind of living curiously through you, seeing you take those chances and it working.
Mhm.
Even if it wasn't season long, I know Kareem Hunt kind of took a dip, but at the same time, it was just like, you see that? He took a chance, he had a feeling, he went for it, and it panned out. I think
Well-
that's what you have to be now.
But for me, it's been 3 years in a row. The first 2 years, the first year was Brady, who was suspended, but also picking Brady and Roethlisberger close together, knowing Paulie and I could play one of them for a trade chip.
Yes.
And then our second year, it was, fuck it, let's draft Brady in the 4th round, and we'll get through those first 4 games somehow. Because you can patch 2 weeks, 4 weeks together, depending on the position. You can, unless you're a fucking retard.
Yeah.
But you're right, man. I think you got to be bold. You got to be willing to, and you can't miss on those things though.
Yes.
Like if Kareem Hunt lost his job in week 3, I was fucked.
Yes, absolutely.
Or if Elliott would have went to prison or whatever was going on, I was fucked.
Yeah. I mean, it was a struggle all year long. You had that lingering over your head.
Oh my god, every week.
But in your opinion, what is more important as the season rolls on? Is it your aggressiveness on the waiver wire? I mean, people do hit. I mean, Brocco is a pure example. He hit on Chris Thompson. He really didn't have to move much after
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
Or is it trades, or is it a little combination of both? I mean, I think it's both.
Yeah. It's probably both. You got I think some people who try to stash, like when you have that mentality of you're gonna stash the waiver and be the top guy, and you think like eventually it's gonna hit. It really doesn't hit.
Yeah.
It's like you have to grab somebody before people really know that to somebody.
Yes.
And
And it requires you to be ballsy, be bold. These things require you got to find them before they happen. I think Paul Linder could be a good example of this, kind of with Deshaun Watson. We all thought it might have been a flash in the pan.
Yep.
I didn't see it.
He was awful his first game. He just had a long run.
He picked him up,
I
and
remember
then
thinking the same
he
thing.
was
Like,
off
maybe I
forced to
should
be
take a
reckoned.
chance with him, but it was
Yeah.
like, but for what? I'll drop him in a week.
Mhm.
And then the guy was
Phenomenal.
out of his mind.
Now, do you agree with his ADP right now? Do you agree with him being drafted right after Rodgers, quarterback ranking wise? He is being taken right after Rodgers. If not, yes, he's being taken. in the fourth round.
Personally, I wouldn't do this is another one of these little conundrums is that if you're going to reach for a QB, you got to reach for something you know. I just think, even with Rodgers, man, every year he misses 3 or 4 games. I'm a little, he'd be exciting to have, but you better have a good backup, man.
Yeah.
You better have
You just
something.
never know. You just never know. You just never know.
So
But
we've had, let's go through some of our memories here. We've been doing this 3 years.
this would be the 4th year.
There is built through this league, there's countless back and forth shit talking. There's these little fake rivalries and fake enemies. Who or what makes up your favorite, make it exclusive to the draft? What's your favorite draft memory?
Oh, well, the first draft here at this location
It's a lot of parts to
as
that one.
much as it was as organized as I could have, and as unorganized as it kind of was, and how cramped it was in this 950 square foot home, that was probably the best memory of that draft when I prepared food. I had my poor wife cooking meatballs and God knows what, and then Devin brought a pizza over,
Oh, that's right.
and I put it in the oven, and I forgot about it. And
Little Black.
you guys were still hungry after all the food, and we found it. I threw it in the garbage because it was rock solid. It was like
we overturned the garbage.
it was like as hard as it looked like the Ten Commandments on the stone. And you guys pulled it right out of there, threw it on my stove. Mind you, stoves are a pain in the ass to clean, and you guys just chowed down on that garbage pizza.
You had to like get to a certain part to be able to eat it. You couldn't just take a bite.
That was my favorite draft moment. I mean, still talking to this day. It was like a great party.
I remember being over here in a little bar there with Devin and Morlock and Paul, and we were like going over, and Morlock was like, "Yo, who do you think I should take?" I'm like, "Dude, you gotta take Luck." And I meant it, dude. I hadn't even really studied football. Dude, Paul asked me the day before. I was like, all right, on the ride over, I'm like, yo, who should we take? Devin's like, definitely Le'Veon Bell. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And you know what? He was suspended too. When Paul and I took him, he was suspended for
Yeah,
a couple
he
games.
had a couple issues.
Well, Morlock took him, and then we lost Morlock. We lost Jay.
Jay Russell, yeah.
Did we lose anybody else here?
Amar was to
Well, that's
start,
right.
and then Scott Slayman kind of endorsed his team, and
That's right.
that was that.
That's right. Did Scott Flaman come here? Back then?
No.
Okay.
He
Amar was here though.
Amar was here.
Amar drafted that team?
Part of it. He didn't realize how long. He didn't realize fantasy football was as
He
in
drafted a hell of a team.
He did, and Scott
Fucking
Slayman
Amar.
went all the way, and you guys beat him in the championship.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man. I would say that was a good memory. I'm trying to think of my favorite memory from draft. I think drafting Zeke is my favorite memory. I really do.
It had personally
Dude,
for yourself.
It was a mic drop moment because it was my first pick post team.
If you
My
watch,
first independent team.
yes, and that's true. And if you watch the video, people were quiet
Ooh.
when you drafted that guy. I mean, even me, I was like, "Holy crap!"
It's fun to make one of those picks. It's fun. It's fun to show everybody your balls.
because it's just like you know he's good, but could you? And I think I said in the video, you had to take him there if you want to know.
Yeah, and
Yeah, there's no way he's coming back. You had to take him. You had to take him.
yeah,
And you know what? It worked out. Because now, I mean, he's like,
almost worked out.
wow, almost worked out.
It actually would have been better for me had he been suspended the first 4 games.
Yes. And just get it over with.
Because he missed the playoffs. That was killer, man.
Speaking of other questions, who from our league is, I know it's a kind of a weird question, but I have a favorite. Who's your favorite to be at the draft with? Like, who's your favorite person to watch during the draft, while you're drafting? I know it's a weird question. That's why I'm going to answer this for you first.
Cool.
My favorite person, and he just came in the league last year, is Rob Burnett. Because his shit talking is so funny, and it's
pretty good.
it's so casual about it.
Mm-hmm.
When
He's pretty low key, but
You'll-
he's also
I think somebody drafted Antonio Brown, and I think he wanted him, so he just bashed the guy. Why would you pick him? That's a shitty pick. Why would you do that to yourself? And it's just like in the background. He's not like a loud voice. He's just in the background.
yeah, he's
It's
low key.
it's funny to see him because he has his comments, and they're just. I love drafting him.
And this might sound like an easy answer, but Friedman is always my favorite because you can fuck with him. He just cracks me up. Friedman just cracks me up.
Freeman had a hard fall last year. I mean, going from
Was it last year when he was at the wedding and he came late? Was that 2 years
yeah
ago?
in Boston, yes,
That
he
was
was at
last
the
year.
wedding in Boston, and then he flew in and then did the draft. I mean, great showmanship on his part, but
He might have the record for most hangovers in our draft so far. He is a hungover guy. Every time I see him, even at the rules thing,
yeah, he's a single guy. What do you want?
he's a young fella.
He's a young fella, but hey, yes, great, all around great. But speaking of the league and end of year punishments, do you feel like we're always trying to one up the punishments? I feel like we're going.
I'm getting concerned about where this thing ends. What are we gonna do at the
And
end?
you know what?
I'll be bringing a dead person.
eat this dead body that I got from the morgue. Where does it end, or should we just kind of rotate?
Not sure where it ends because I don't know what could be worse than this year. What could be demonstrably worse than what we got? Spiders.
We have a canned zebra spider, delicacy from New Zealand. A canned squid in ink, natural ink, it's for the flavor, and as a lottery pick, one of the hottest chili peppers in the world, which will completely ruin your day.
I would think more than your day.
Yes, and your beehole.
Yeah.
So, I mean, clearly that's way worse than a cheeseburger. When you put them all together, I'd pick the cheeseburger all day, right?
See, I don't know, man. Is there a right answer? Is there a wrong answer to that? I mean, we saw that the cheeseburger, and again, it's influenced by watching somebody who was as hungover as Friedman was try to consume it, but it was horrifying.
It was.
And I think back to Shashetta, dude, the chicken birth, when that thing came out, oh, there was a moment, man, where I was like, I'm gonna throw up.
The can gave birth to that chicken.
Yeah, with
and
the legs emerged.
And then
oh.
it smelled like cat food.
Oh.
So I was gagging. And then
Remember the people bringing out of the back?
Yes.
Like, what is it?
Yes.
Why are you?
And I'm very sorry, Island Lanes, I just threw it in the garbage can that was right near the bar, and I just left it. I just threw the whole fucking smorgasbord. I threw it right in the garbage can. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm sure somebody moved their seat.
Oh, God. I can't do it. I can't do it. But I feel like this year, if I had to choose between the three, I'm eating that spider. And I hate spiders, but I don't eat seafood. I'm going to...
Yeah, the chili pepper's not even an option.
I can't do that. That's
So-
horrible. That will ruin your Super Bowl. I hope no one gets it.
So what are we doing again? So one person's gonna have to spin for.
We're gonna do 10 balls in the lottery machine, 10 for the squid, 10 for the spider, 1 red ball for that chili pepper, and it's gonna round and round it goes. Whatever pops up, you go. Now, as a commissioner, as somebody that comes up with this stuff, and how I feel like it's so important just to have this whole orchestrated event kind of take place. The only thing that I'm always worried about at the end is somebody not doing it and deciding to leave the league opposed to eating the punishment.
I think with the first couple of them, they've been more fun than disgusting, but certainly they're disgusting too. I could see somebody just being a hard no.
Yes.
Because I mean, you could you could hurt yourself. with that
Yes,
thing, man.
I've heard people like having holes in their throats from this thing. So like, look,
It's I don't know. That's
it's rough. It is rough.
because I feel like it was funny, like the canned chicken and stuff. Like it's funny. People eating peppers, like you can pull up YouTube and watch any fucking fat moron of a fraternity eating a pepper and being. I don't. That's not what I think about when I think about this league.
No.
This guy is not welcome.
Yeah.
in our league. He's out. I don't want that guy.
Exactly. Well, that's why I'm asking the question, are we always seeming like I have to one up last year?
Well, yeah, I think even subconsciously you're going to want to. I think you'd have been fine without the red ball this year. I
Yes.
think the red ball is much.
It's rough. But that's what
we got to draw that thing. Like, it's going to change the day for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, what happens if this guy passes out or, you know?
I'm going to have them sign a waiver so they don't sue me, first off. It's horrible. But that's the risk you should take with fantasy football. That's how serious it
If you're not willing to go to small claims court, then you're not willing to be on fantasy football.
Pretty much. But with the draft just a few days away, what are you doing to prepare? Now, don't give out your secrets. We all have our secrets, but what mentality do you hope you go for? What are you hoping happens? I mean, just bring me through your envision of walking in the draft.
The last couple days, so we're at the home stretch here. I'm exclusively sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber.
Very nice answer.
Prep. Yeah.
Very nice answer.
Strong prep.
You're doing overload prep.
That's right.
Yes.
Wake up early, raw eggs, swim, back to the chamber.
Now, I wasn't gonna show anybody this, but bear with me for a
I
second.
don't want to see your dick.
I did a little tweak to the draft board this year.
Uh-oh.
It's nothing serious, but I think it shows.
I don't like any big changes, Greg.
Come on, you know I always got to do something fun. This year, when you draft, you will have your face.
Oh wow, you got to shut it too.
See, we got Tashetta. Don't worry, I found you.
You know what you should have done for Shashetta? You should have made him like an egg. Like an...
I'm not friends with him. I don't have Facebook, so it's the only thing I can find. Kevin is going to hate that so much. I hope you're watching. But, as you can see, Freeman goes first, Burnett goes second, and so forth.
Now, how many feet from a school can he... How far can he get?
Not even close.
500 feet?
Not even close. Yeah. But this is the draft. Holy shit.
Wow. That's it ended.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much.